process?
I enjoyed it actually. It is scary, although I have written a testimony before. This was different now, right? Because I was writing it having done all of the coaching up to now. And I told you when I avoided the assignment and waited to the last minute, which I can do. I do that sometimes. And then I thought I've got to get this done. And I think I was off from work or something. I had a day. Oh, I tell you when it was. It was my birthday because I was off that day. And I purposely said, I'm going to take the day off. This day is for me and God. I'm going to study my Bible and do all this stuff. And I was going to sit down and do this testimony. And I don't even remember how long I was there. I typed and typed and typed and typed. And I couldn't stop. And I typed things that I had never said, actually. Some of it, I'm sure you and I had not discussed, maybe a little bit of it, but not the full. So that part was, therapeutic, if you want to say that, because I was able to just put it down and reread it. And I thought, that's not bad. I'm okay with that. Like, you know how sometimes you think, if I put that in words and put it on the paper, is that okay?
Right.
But after I reread it, I thought, yep, that's it. That's what happened, and so I was okay with that. And then the step of creating the content, like making the videos, I told you I was not feeling it. I knew it was coming, but I didn't want to do it. And I postponed that until I had this huge pimple on my face and I had to do it. So I just went on. I thought, oh, well, and I had to do it that way. But I did the first one, full and looked back and then broke it down like we talked about. And it was easy. It actually wasn't that hard once I did. I didn't do several takes. We had talked about not trying to, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can mess up. You can have to repeat a word. You can laugh at yourself, whatever. And I just did them. And I have, I don't know, like at least for that first section, about 13 videos, just for that first part. Yeah. And that's just testimony. And I did, and actually, I would not have been able to do this before. I went back and looked at them, and I didn't look at myself and pick out every eyebrow hair that wasn't in the right. I didn't do any of that. My lipstick was wrong. Look at my teeth. I would have done all of that. I just listened. I just listened to myself, just like I would be listening to someone else. And it was good. It was good. And I thought, yes, that's a compelling story. Good job. Yeah.
So do you feel like it really prepared you, because it's not like, okay, well, I have this ministry, but like what to do, like what's next? Like, how do I do it? How do you feel like it prepared you for like, just the goals that you would have going into it?
I definitely think that it prepared me because I needed the time to work through, for me, because my issue was mainly around confidence and self-worth. I needed the time to study the Bible, in a more structured way. We talked about the Bible weekly. What did I see? What did I notice? How can I use that in my ministry? And all those conversations mattered because that's how I learn, is by talking. So it's one thing for me to have studied the Bible, which I've done many, many times prior to this, but having those conversations about how it applies and just, even if I said I reread the same verse, Kendra, over and over again and cried or whatever it was, that's okay, right? But I think that was all necessary in the preparation to get me to the place where I was not afraid to tell the story, and that I was not afraid to watch myself back on the video, and not also, although you and I haven't really gone through the content with you. I feel confident now, if I sent you a video and said, all right, Kendra, look at this, tell me what you think. In the past, it would have killed me for you to say, that's not going to work. But now I'm like, no, you need to tell me. It's not going to work. You need to tell me. So, right. I mean, I needed I needed all of that self-examination and all of the Bible study, which of course you cannot stop doing ever. But also the time to kind of, I don't know, it's like kind of grow myself up into the ability to say, oh, you can do this. This is a part of it, right? It's for you to tell people who you are, what you've experienced, how that relates to what you want to do in ministry. And I didn't know any of that. I mean, I just didn't. So I needed to do the preparation in order to know, okay, this is the parts of the testimony that I should tell. You can't tell everything. This is the parts that I should tell. These are the things that I'm going to pull out later and share this struggle, So I needed all that to get ready to share it out. And even down to like, I don't know, the colors are even the colors and what they mean, and value systems, all of that for me, it gives me language to talk to other people, but also to talk to myself, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So that I know how to how to work it and how to go forward and decide. It also, and this has been true before I started coaching, but more so, I mean, before I started with you, but more so now, there's all these other ideas that God is giving, and I may not have recognized them as God's voice prior. I would have just been like, I don't know why I'm thinking about taking kids on trips and traveling, and that's, I'm never gonna get to do that. Like, I would have been, trying to talk myself out of it.
Right.
And now I'm like, no, I think that's come up a couple times, God. So okay. Yeah, it just keeps on. And see, that's part of it too, is that it kept coming up. So now the ministry, as it is still being formed, maybe this one thing, but there's some other things that I'm like, oh, eventually it's going to have to go to this. Eventually I'll have to add that, because I already see that those are things that they've been inside, and I have had them come up, and then I've just said, no, that's not me. I can't do that. Or I'm not smart enough to do that, or I'm whatever lies I was telling myself about it. Now I'm like, okay, well, I better start writing this down so I can remember what I'm supposed to